English tea.
From Speaking English with Class. Hey everyone, welcome back to English Tea. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo. So Mia, I've got a question for you today.
Oh no, what is it this time?
Have you ever eaten a mummy?
What? No way, Leo, you're kidding, right?
I'm dead serious. And get this, people in Europe were actually eating mummies like 200 years ago.
That is absolutely gross. Wait, hold on. You're telling me that people were grinding up ancient Egyptian mummies and just eating them?
Exactly. And today we're going to dive into this crazy, disgusting, but totally true story. And while we're at it, you're going to learn some super useful expressions for showing disgust and disbelief in English.
Because trust me, by the end of this episode, you'll be saying no way and that's gross like a native speaker.
So grab your tea, not mummy powder, and let's get started.
Okay, Leo, before we jump into this nightmare of a story, let me just say I already feel sick just thinking about it.
I know, right? But here's the thing. This wasn't just like one weird guy doing this in his basement. This was mainstream medicine in Europe for hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years? You've gotta be kidding me.
Nope. We're talking from the 1500s all the way to the 1800s. That's like 3 centuries of people munching on mummies.
Oh my God, I don't even have words. That's beyond gross.
And you know what? This is actually a perfect opportunity to talk about today's expressions. Did you guys catch what Mia just said?
Yeah, I said, you've got to be kidding me, which is basically a longer version of you're kidding, right?
Exactly. So let's break this down for our listeners. When someone tells you something shocking or hard to believe, you've got a bunch of options.
Right. You can say, no way. Super casual, super common. Like if your friend tells you they won the lottery, you'd be like, no way, that's amazing.
Or if someone tells you something negative or shocking, like our mummy story, you say no way with a different tone. It's all about the intonation.
Let me show you. If it's good news, no way, that's awesome. Your voice goes up, right?
Yeah, but if it's shocking or disgusting news, no way, that's horrible. Your voice kind of stays flat or goes down.
Exactly. Now, you're kidding, right, is what you say when you really hope the person is joking.
Like if someone says, I just ate a spider, you'd be like, you're kidding, right? Please tell me you're kidding.
And then we've got, you've got to be kidding me, which is even stronger. It's like you're so shocked that you can't believe it's real.
It's almost like you're saying, this is so crazy that you must be joking because reality can't be this weird.
Perfect explanation. Okay, so now that we've covered the disbelief expressions, let's get into the actual story. Leo, paint me a picture. How did this whole mummy eating thing even start?
All right, so picture this. It's the 1500s and you're in Europe. Medicine is, well, let's just say it's not great.
That's putting it mildly.
Right. So doctors back then, they're looking for miracle cures. And somehow someone gets this idea that mummies have magical healing powers.
But why mummies specifically? Like, where did that even come from?
Great question. So there's this substance called mumia. It's a kind of black tar-like stuff that was used in ancient medicine.
Okay, so far not too gross.
Wait for it. Originally, this mumia was a natural mineral substance found in places like Persia, and it actually did have some medicinal properties.
All right, so that makes sense.
But here's where it gets crazy. Traders and merchants realized that Egyptian mummies, the preserved dead bodies, they had this black resin-like coating on them from the preservation process.
Oh no, no. I see where this is going.
Yep, someone looked at that black stuff on the mummies and went, hey, that looks like mumia. Let's grind up these ancient corpses and sell them as medicine.
That is absolutely gross. Like, I cannot emphasize enough how disgusting that is.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you use that is absolutely gross in a sentence.
I wasn't even trying to teach. I'm just genuinely horrified.
But seriously though, let's talk about that expression. That is absolutely gross. Or you can say that's absolutely disgusting.
The word absolutely here is what we call an intensifier. It makes the disgust stronger.
Right. You could just say that's gross. That's pretty mild. Like if someone picks their nose, you might say, ugh, that's gross.
But if something is really disgusting, like eating ancient dead bodies, you add absolutely or totally or completely.
That is absolutely gross. That is totally disgusting. That is completely revolting.
Each one gets stronger and stronger. Revolting is like maximum disgust level.
Exactly. Now, let's get back to our story because it gets even worse.
How can it possibly get worse?
Oh, it can. So these mummies, right? They weren't just being ground into powder. People were eating them in all sorts of ways.
Please don't tell me.
Some people mixed the powder with honey or jam. Some dissolved it in wine or beer.
Oh God, that makes me sick just thinking about it.
And some, and this is the worst part, some people just ate chunks of dried mummy flesh straight up.
What? You're kidding, right? Please tell me you're making this up.
I wish I was. There are actual historical records of this. Pharmacies in Europe sold mummy parts like they were selling aspirin today.
I don't even, ew, just ew.
Ew. Now, that's another great expression. Super casual, super common.
Yeah, ew is what you say when something is gross, but you don't want to be too formal about it. It's very instinctive.
Kids say it all the time, like, ew, broccoli, or ew, bugs.
But adults use it too, especially in casual conversation. If someone describes something disgusting, you just naturally go, ew.
It's spelled E-W-W-W, by the way. Sometimes people spell it E-W with just 2 letters. That works too.
And you can drag it out for emphasis. Ew. The more W's, the more disgusted you are.
Exactly. Okay, so now I want to tell you guys about some specific historical figures who were into this mummy medicine.
Oh boy, here we go.
So King Charles II of England, yeah, an actual king, he had this special tincture made from mummy powder.
A tincture? What's that?
It's like a liquid medicine, usually mixed with alcohol. And Charles II was obsessed with this stuff. He called it his King's Drops.
King's Drops. That sounds so fancy, but it's literally dead people juice.
Yeah, dead people juice is probably the most accurate description.
That is so nasty. I can't believe a king would drink that.
Nasty. There's another good one. It's similar to gross, but maybe a little stronger.
Yeah, nasty has this extra ick factor to it.
You can say that's nasty about food, about situations, about behavior. It's super versatile.
Like if someone doesn't wash their hands after using the bathroom, you'd say, dude, that's nasty.
Or if you find moldy food in the fridge, oh my God, this is so nasty.
Right. Okay, so we've got King Charles II drinking mummy juice. Who else?
Well, it wasn't just royalty. Regular doctors prescribed this stuff all the time. They thought it could cure headaches, stomach problems, broken bones.
Broken bones? How would eating a dead person help with broken bones?
That's the thing. It wouldn't. But people back then didn't understand medicine the way we do now.
Obviously.
They had this theory called like cures like. So they thought mummies have been preserved for thousands of years, so eating them would help preserve your health and make you live longer.
That logic is so flawed, I don't even know where to start.
I know, it's completely ridiculous when you think about it.
Ridiculous. That's a great word for describing something that's so illogical, it's almost funny.
Yeah, you use ridiculous when something is absurd or doesn't make any sense.
Like, that's ridiculous, or don't be ridiculous.
And it's not always about disgust. You can use it for anything unreasonable. Like if someone says, let's drive to New York right now, it's midnight. You'd say, that's ridiculous.
Exactly. But in our case, the mummy medicine is both ridiculous and disgusting.
The worst combination. Now, here's something wild. There was actually a huge market for mummies in Europe.
A market? You mean like people were buying and selling them?
Oh yeah, Big business. Egyptian mummies became so valuable that people started robbing tombs just to sell the bodies to European merchants.
No way. Are you serious?
Completely serious. And when real Egyptian mummies became hard to find, you know what happened?
Oh God, what?
People started making fake ones.
Making fake mummies? How do you even... Actually, I don't want to know.
Too bad, I'm gonna tell you anyway. Some shady dealers would take recently dead bodies, like criminals who'd been executed, and they'd dry them out in the sun, cover them in tar to make them look old, and sell them as ancient Egyptian mummies.
That's horrific. That is absolutely horrific.
Right? So people weren't even eating ancient mummies sometimes. They were eating bodies that had died like a week ago.
Oh my God, stop. I literally feel sick. That makes me want to throw up.
That makes me want to throw up. Now that's maximum disgust level right there.
Yeah, when something is so gross that it physically affects you, that's what you say.
You can also say, that makes me sick, or that makes me nauseous.
I think I'm gonna be sick is another one. It's like the grossness is so intense, your body's reacting to it.
And these are great expressions because they're really vivid. They show just how disgusted you are.
For sure. Like right now, I genuinely feel queasy talking about this.
Queasy, good word. It means feeling slightly sick to your stomach.
Yeah, it's like that uncomfortable feeling right before you might throw up.
Okay, let's move on before Mia actually gets sick. Let me tell you about how this whole mummy-eating craze finally ended.
Thank God. Please tell me someone figured out this was insane.
Well, it took a while, but yes. In the 1700s and 1800s, as science advanced, doctors started questioning this practice.
Finally, some common sense.
Right, so there was this French doctor named Pierre Pomé, and in 1694 he wrote about how disgusting he found the whole thing.
A doctor who actually had sense. I like this guy.
He basically said, this is ridiculous and disgusting, and I don't understand why anyone would eat dead bodies for medicine.
Good for him. Did people listen?
Eventually, yeah, but it was a slow process. Even in the early 1800s, you could still buy mummy powder in some pharmacies.
That's crazy. So, like, when was the last time someone actually did this?
The practice mostly died out by the late 1800s. By then, modern medicine was developing, and people realized that eating ancient corpses wasn't exactly scientific.
You think?
I know. It seems so obvious to us now, but you gotta remember, people back then didn't have the knowledge we have today.
That's true. I mean, it's still gross, but I guess we can't judge them too harshly.
Exactly. Context matters. But we can definitely still say that's gross because, let's be honest, it is.
Absolutely. Now, let's do a quick role play to practice these expressions. Leo, you be a 17th century doctor and I'll be a patient.
Ooh, I love it. Okay, here we go. Good day, madam. I hear you've been feeling unwell?
Yes, doctor. I've had this terrible headache for 3 days now.
Ah, I've got just the thing. I'm going to prescribe you some mummy powder mixed with wine. Take it twice a day.
I'm sorry, did you say mummy powder?
Yes, indeed. Ground up Egyptian mummy. It's the latest medical breakthrough.
You're kidding, right? You want me to eat a dead person?
Well, not a whole dead person, just a few spoonfuls of powder.
That is absolutely gross. No way am I doing that.
But madam, it's very effective. King Charles himself uses it.
I don't care if the Queen of England uses it. That's disgusting. Are you serious right now?
Quite serious, madam. It's been used for centuries.
That makes me sick just thinking about it. I'll take my chances with the headache. Thank you very much.
And scene. That was perfect, Mia.
Thanks. Did you guys catch all those expressions? Let's recap real quick.
Yeah, so Mia said, you're kidding, right? To show disbelief.
Then that is absolutely gross for strong disgust.
No way, to refuse and show shock.
That's disgusting. Another disgust expression.
Are you serious? Asking for confirmation because you can't believe it.
And that makes me sick, showing physical disgust.
All in one short conversation. This is how native speakers actually talk when they hear something shocking or gross.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, you can mix and match these expressions depending on the situation.
Right, you don't have to use all of them at once. Sometimes just a simple ew is enough.
Or if you want to be more emphatic, you can say, that is absolutely, completely, totally disgusting.
Just pile on those intensifiers.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to talk about something important. When should you use these expressions and when maybe you should hold back?
Oh, good point. Because you don't want to be rude.
Exactly. So these expressions are perfect for casual conversations with friends, or when you're talking about something that's objectively gross, like our mummy story.
Right, if your friend tells you they stepped in dog poop, saying, ew, that's gross, is totally fine.
But if you're in a professional setting, or if someone is telling you about their personal experience, you might want to tone it down.
Yeah, like if someone tells you they tried a new food and they're excited about it, don't say, that's disgusting, even if you personally find it gross.
That would be really rude. Instead, you could say something like, oh, that's not really my thing, or I don't think I could try that.
Exactly. It's all about reading the room and being respectful.
But when you're with close friends and you're talking about genuinely gross stuff, go wild. Say that's absolutely disgusting to your heart's content.
Yes, context is everything. Okay, so let's do a little practice exercise for our listeners. Leo, give them some scenarios.
All right, scenario 1. Your friend tells you they just won a free trip to Hawaii. What do you say? No way! That's amazing! Remember, excited intonation.
Perfect. Scenario 2, your coworker tells you they found a moldy sandwich in their desk from 3 months ago. What do you say?
Oh my God, that's so gross. Throw it away.
Good. Scenario 3, someone tells you that people used to eat mummies as medicine. What do you say?
You're kidding, right? That is absolutely disgusting.
Excellent. And scenario 4, you're at a fancy dinner party and someone serves a dish you find unappealing. What do you not say?
You don't say, ew, that's gross. Instead, you politely say, oh, I'm quite full, thank you. Or, that looks interesting, but I'm not very adventurous with food.
Perfect example of when to hold back.
Politeness matters, people.
Absolutely. Now, I want to share one more fun fact about the whole mummy eating thing before we finish up.
Hit me with it.
So, you know how some people today are into natural remedies and alternative medicine?
Yeah, like herbal teas and stuff.
Right. Well, back in the day, mummy medicine was kind of like that. People genuinely believed it was a natural ancient remedy that had stood the test of time.
Huh, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, they weren't trying to be gross or weird. They honestly thought they were using good medicine.
That's actually kind of sad when you think about it.
It is. It just shows how far medicine has come in the last few hundred years.
And how lucky we are to have actual scientific medicine now.
For real. Can you imagine going to the doctor today and they're like, here, eat some ground up mummy?
I would run out of that office so fast.
Same. I'd be like, no way, I'm finding a new doctor.
See, even we use these expressions naturally in conversation.
Exactly. That's the point. These aren't stiff textbook phrases. They're what real people actually say.
And the more you hear them and practice them, the more natural they'll become for you too.
So our challenge for you guys today is this. Try to use at least one of these expressions in a real conversation this week.
It doesn't have to be about mummies. It can be about anything that shocks or disgusts you.
Maybe you see a bug in your house. Ew, that's gross.
Or someone tells you surprising news. No way, really?
Just practice using them in context and they'll start to feel more natural.
And here's a pro tip. Pay attention to how native speakers use these expressions in movies and TV shows.
Yes, that's great advice. Notice the intonation, the facial expressions, the context.
Because English isn't just about the words, it's about how you say them.
Like no way can be excited, shocked, disgusted, or refusing, all depending on how you say it.
Language is so cool like that.
It really is. You know what else is interesting about these disgust expressions?
What's that?
They're actually really important for social bonding. When you can express disgust appropriately, you're showing that you understand cultural norms and social boundaries.
That's so true. Like, if someone tells you a gross story and you just sit there with no reaction, that's weird, right?
Super weird. People expect you to react. It's part of how we connect with each other.
And different cultures have different levels of what's considered gross. Like, in some places, eating insects is totally normal.
Right, so if you're talking to someone from a culture where that's common, you wouldn't want to say, ew, that's disgusting, about their food.
Exactly. You'd use those more neutral expressions like, oh, I'm not sure I could try that, or that's not something I'm used to.
Cultural sensitivity is so important when learning a language.
For sure. And that's why we're teaching you not just the expressions, but when and how to use them.
Because language isn't just words, it's communication, it's understanding the whole context.
Speaking of context, let's talk about some other situations where you might use these expressions.
Oh, good idea. So we've talked about using them for food and historical facts. What else?
Well, you might use them when talking about movies or TV shows. Like if someone describes a really gory scene, you could say, oh my God, that's so gross.
Or if a friend tells you about a medical procedure they had to get. Ew, I don't want to hear the details.
Right, and these expressions are also super common when talking about bugs or creepy crawlies.
Oh yeah, like there's a spider in the bathroom. Ew, gross. Can you get rid of it?
And you can use them when talking about bad smells, too. What's that smell? I don't know, but it's nasty.
See, these expressions come up all the time in everyday conversation.
They really do, and the more you practice them, the more natural they'll come out.
Another thing I want to mention is the difference between American and British English with some of these expressions.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So in American English, we say gross and disgusting pretty much interchangeably, but in British English, they might say grotty or manky for something that's dirty or disgusting.
Yeah, and they also use rank more often. Like, that's rank means that's disgusting.
But for our listeners, if you're learning American English, stick with gross, disgusting, and nasty. Those are the most common.
And they're understood everywhere, so you can't go wrong with those.
Now, let's talk about body language for a second, because when you're expressing disgust, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it and what your face does.
Oh yeah, Americans are pretty expressive when they're disgusted.
Right. You might scrunch up your nose, pull your head back, or even stick your tongue out a little.
And your facial expression really sells the emotion. Like if you say that's gross with a totally flat face, it doesn't have the same impact.
Exactly. You got to commit to it. Show that disgust on your face.
But again, don't overdo it if you're in a professional setting. You can dial it back a bit.
Good point. There's a difference between casual disgust with friends and professional disgust in a meeting.
Professional disgust. I love that phrase.
Like, if you're in a business meeting and someone mentions a problem, you might say, oh, that's unfortunate, instead of, ew, that's gross.
Unless you work in a really casual office, then maybe you could get away with it.
True. Every workplace is different.
Okay, so we've covered a lot today. Let's do one more quick review of all the expressions we've learned.
Sounds good. So for showing disbelief, we've got no way. You're kidding, right? You've got to be kidding me. And are you serious?
And for showing disgust, that's gross. That's disgusting. Ew, that's nasty. And the strongest ones, that makes me sick and that makes me want to throw up.
Don't forget ridiculous for when something is absurd and queasy for when you feel sick to your stomach.
And remember, you can add intensifiers like absolutely, totally, or completely to make your disgust stronger.
That is absolutely, completely, totally disgusting. That's like the ultimate disgust expression.
You'd only use that for something really gross, like eating mummies.
Perfect example.
You know what's funny? After talking about this for so long, I'm actually getting used to the idea.
Right, it doesn't seem quite as shocking anymore.
But it's still gross, don't get me wrong. I would never actually eat a mummy.
Same here, modern medicine all the way.
Can you imagine if mummy medicine had actually worked, though? Like, what if it really did cure diseases?
That would be so weird. We'd probably still be doing it today.
Oh, God, no way. That would be horrible.
See, there's that no way again. It just comes naturally.
It really does. And that's what we want for our listeners, for these expressions to just flow naturally in conversation.
And the best way to do that is practice, practice, practice.
Exactly. Use them with your friends. Use them when you're talking to yourself. Use them when you're watching TV shows.
Just get comfortable with them. Make them part of your vocabulary.
And don't be afraid to sound emotional. That's the whole point of these expressions.
Right, they're meant to show strong feelings, so really put some emotion into it.
Americans are pretty expressive people in general, so don't hold back.
Just remember to be appropriate for the situation.
Yes, always read the room.
Okay, I think we've covered this topic pretty thoroughly. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think so. This has been a really fun episode.
It has. Gross, but fun.
The best kind of learning.
Agreed. All right, everyone, let's do our final wrap-up.
So there you have it, one of the grossest stories in history, and now you know how to express disgust and disbelief like a native speaker.
Remember, next time someone tells you something shocking, don't just say, "Oh my God." Mix it up. Try "no way" or "you're kidding," right?
And if something's really disgusting, go ahead and say, "That is absolutely gross." Just make sure you're with friends, not at a business meeting or fancy dinner.
Yeah, timing is everything.
Before we go, here's your challenge. This week, try to use at least 3 of today's expressions in real conversations. And hey, tell your English learning friends about this story. I bet they'll say "no way" too.
And if you've got a gross historical fact you want to share, drop it in the comments below this episode. We love hearing from you guys.
We might even feature some of your stories in a future episode.
Ooh, that's a great idea. Listeners' grossest history facts episode.
Perfect. Okay, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next one.
We've got some really cool topics coming up, so you definitely don't want to miss those.
And share this episode with anyone who's learning English, especially if they need help sounding more natural and conversational.
You know what? I just thought of something. We should tell our listeners about some other historical practices that would make good topics for future episodes.
Oh, that's a great idea. Like what?
Well, there's bloodletting, where doctors used to drain people's blood to cure diseases.
Oh my God, that's another one where people would say, "You're kidding, right?"
Exactly. Or trepanation, drilling holes in people's skulls to cure headaches.
That is so gross, but also fascinating.
Right? History is full of these crazy medical practices that make you want to say, what were they thinking?
And they're perfect for learning these disgust expressions because your reaction is so natural and authentic.
That's exactly right. When you're genuinely shocked or disgusted, the expressions come out naturally.
So if you guys want us to do more episodes like this, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we'd love to hear what topics you're interested in.
And don't worry, not every episode will be about gross stuff. We've got some really fun, lighthearted topics coming up too.
But every once in a while, it's good to dive into something shocking. It makes learning memorable.
For sure. I'm never going to forget this mummy story, that's for sure.
Me neither. Every time I see a mummy in a museum now, I'm going to think about this.
Were you almost someone's medicine? That's such a weird thought.
It really is. History is wild.
It really is. Okay, I think we've really, truly covered everything now.
Yeah, I think so too. This has been a great episode.
Thanks for hanging with us through this whole gross story, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening. And remember, the goal isn't just to learn these expressions, it's to use them.
Exactly. Language learning is all about practice and real-world application.
So go out there and start using these expressions. Have conversations, make mistakes. That's how you learn.
And if you feel awkward at first, that's totally normal. Everyone feels awkward when they're learning something new.
But the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll get.
And before you know it, you'll be saying "that's gross" and "no way" like you've been doing it your whole life.
That's the goal.
All right, that's all we've got for today. Until next time, keep practicing.
Keep drinking your tea, not mummy powder.
Definitely not mummy powder.
And keep working on those English skills.
You got this, everyone.
Bye.
See you next time on English Tea.
Stay curious, stay learning.
And stay away from ancient corpses.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.